Okay, this is my live server. So whenever you start out in this game, you start off on a cross. Conan comes and knocks it down. When you're on the cross, you build your character. Currently, in the current server that I'm on, I have a list of mods that'll be appearing in the bottom. One of the mods is up in the right corner. You can see it right there. One of the other mods is on the screen now, but you can't see it at all because what it does is it changes the UI to where I can access it whenever I do certain things. For instance, like I bring up a weapon and equip that, my health, stamina, food, water, XP, weight, heat, and shelter bar will show up right there. If I have any other active effects that are on at the time, they'll show up there as well. Or there'll be little icons that are displayed below that bar. Now, I changed to this bar because this bar allows me to do things like make it disappear. Or for filming purposes. Or it also allows me to alter the size of the bar, color gradients, opacity, everything that you really want in a UI modification. It, of course, uses other things. Now, my character right now is injured, as you could tell from before. When you are injured on screen, you'll have these little blood effects that appear around the border of your screen. The easy way to get rid of that is to go in and use like wraps or aloe potions, extracts, that kind of stuff to heal your character up. Now, right now, my character is carrying some extra pieces of armor, some withered skulls, some hatchets, just a bunch of gear in general, materials, the awakened staff of the triumvirate, which you can get. Now, I also have this vase on me here, the ceramic jug, and I'll show you what that does. So, one of the things about this mod is you build, much like you do in 76, or Ark, or Minecraft, or any other survival game that you can think of, including the forest. And one of the things you do is you decorate, like with this stuff here. So some of the items are items that you manufacture at a workbench called an artisan's workbench. Other things are things that you find out in the world, like they'll be on NPCs as you find them. Let's see if I can show you what this does. I'll take off my shield, I'll put my ceramic jug into the Hot Wheel, and then I'll activate the ceramic jug, and there you see the jug, basically size, scale, everything. You can position it. You can go into first person to position it if you want to position it even better. I generally use third person for most of my positioning unless I'm trying to do something like that where I'm putting it in another item. Same thing with the candles and that kind of stuff. They're just, generally items that you can position. Now, first person gives you a lot of variability. This is a base that I'm currently in the process of revamping. These stairs here are sandstone stairs. They are the basic low-end stone stairs that you can make in the game. There are higher quality versions of these stairs, but this is what the base originally looked like. This is the sandstone material in the sandstone stairs. The higher end stairs don't have gaps between this, like the visual light won't be showing between the stairs themselves. Also, the roofing tiles will be different. These are actually technically ramps and not roofs, although they function as roofs as well. That right there is what I'm currently converting everything over to up here. That set is Tarakan, I think, but I am not 100% sure I'm pronouncing that right. This lady is in charge of this Thrall wheel here. This is the greater wheel of pain at this base. It is meant so that you can indoctrinate people to work for you, like this person here. And this guy over here that's currently standing in the corner looking at the wall because he's afraid the witch is going to come after him. She's not on at the moment, by the way. So this here is where you break down items that you happen to have acquired. For instance, I'll show you with this axe here. This is a steel hatchet. You just throw it in, and what it does is, it's an already existing item in the world. This is a dismantler, and it's going to tear it down into its core components, as many of them as you can get back, which is usually a piece of steel, maybe a piece of wood, or a piece of branch, or something like that. Different things give you different components. It all depends on what it's made out of. But in this game, you have a lot, and I do mean a lot, of building options. Let me see here. I'm looking for my construction hammer, which I don't always carry on my character, because carrying it on me all the time just adds more weight to the character in general. I'm going to throw some armor in here. And I'll throw a sword in here. And maybe a bow. And the reason why I keep all this stuff is because this guy down here is one of my thralls. He's a guard. So in order for him to have armor and gear that's better than low level, I have to give him armor and gear that I find out in the world, or I manufacture for him, which means I either dismantle or manufacture a lot of armor. This bench here is the tanner's table. Let you tan leather and break it down into different animal types into basic materials for crafting. This is where leather is actually tanned in the tannery. There's another tanner's table over here because, well, you go through a lot of material in this game. It's very labor intensive as far as like building goes. You have this carpenter's bench here, which allows you to make everything from elevators and bows and arrows to shaped wood and insulated wood for your buildings, decorative beams, foundations for trebuchets. Just a large variety of items are available through that bench. The artisan bench is what I was talking about before. This is the one where you make, like, say, your counters, lanterns, bedside tables, decorative items, basically, all come out of this. And there's quite a few of them. There's also quite a few that are added by various mods. Mods are supported in this game, much like they are in Skyrim. The major thing about this game is that it's still in development, so it's actively being developed by its developer. Meaning that, like, well, this is Age of War Part 1. Age of War Part 2, they're having a conference for on the 24th of this month. And they'll be discussing changes further to the game. And whenever you look at your character in your menu, let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, you see my character right here. There's this little meter down here called a purge meter. And what the purge meter is used for is your base is attacked by in-game militant groups. Now, there are servers that are PvP, and there are servers like this one, which is PvE, meaning that we don't fight each other. There's only one clan on here. It's the one that I run for myself and the people that are in my Discord. Currently, there is only 10 slots available on this server. We work together to get around and do things that we need to. This base right here is our iron production facility. It has also been attacked very often by the Purge whenever it occurs. I want to say it's been hit 3 or 4 times by Purge. So it has been stacked with archers and fighters, and they have been provided with armor and defensive barriers. Materials on the bottom down here are the first ones that were strengthened, meaning that you have like walls and things like that that are stronger, higher quality, more durable, more able to resist damage. and slowly working my way up. If you look over there on that cliff face, that's the temple to Set. It's one of the structures that I built in game, and I do say I built it because, well, I did build it. My clan has been really good about, and the people that I play with have been really good about, you know, gathering lots of materials and not really giving two shits about what I build, as long as I build something that they can use and work with to what they need to do to complete the game. Now, one of the things you need to know about this game is that you have categories that you unlock through knowledge points. As you level up, you'll gain points, and you'll be able to see which ones you spent. Each one you unlock will, you know, be one of these green ones. Some mods, like this one, which is got a little icon beside of it to show you that it's something that was added by a mod. Not every mod author does that, but a lot of them do. Like, see here? And basically there are mods that let you do a lot of different things in this game. But there are also all these different building sets available in-game normally. They're all sold as DLC, usually. Either that or through the bazaar you'll find things where it'll be unlocked that you can buy periodically to add to your building repertoire. Now, the cool thing about unlocking things in-game is there's stuff that you unlock naturally as you go through and you complete these things right here, which are called journeys. Now, the journey system is kind of the way the developers have decided to hold your hand in this game. You start off as a survivor. It goes through the process of what you need to survive, and it provides you with a reward at the end of it. And that's pretty much what happens with everything that you do as you go along. Now, the thing is, like with these hand wraps, for instance, or this sword, for instance, you don't actually get a copy of this sword in your inventory, and you don't actually get a copy of the hand wraps in your inventory. What you wind up getting is the ability to manufacture those items whenever you're in your building areas, if that makes any sense. I'll show you what I mean. Okay. And yes, I'm using a controller because I play pretty much everything on a controller, just so you know. Because my hands bother me arthritically if I don't. So, this is the blacksmith, and at the blacksmith's table you can make all of your weapons. You can also make things like siege cauldrons and building materials like reinforcements and spikes and that kind of stuff. I've added in other things through mods, not necessarily weapons and armor, because in all honesty, this game has quite a bit of weapons and armor by itself. Again, this is another tanner's bench. This is the armor's bench over here. You can unlock more armor and things as you go along, as you find recipes, as you acquire more skills, as you do things in the game. You'll unlock more of these armors as you go. In the knowledge category, as I was showing you before, you've got basic construction. This is the decorative, they call it the torchbearer. Well, you know, it's the this is basically your decorations tab. This is all of your survival stuff, which means like all of your cooking, all of your survival tools that you need, like, you know, your picks and your axes and your foods. Homesteading is added by another mod entirely. The vanity is added in. These two are both added in by a mod. These here are added in by mods. It basically adds different versions of Thrall, which is what they classify all the people that work for you are called thralls that you've captured and suppressed into service, so to speak, as the British government would call it. And then you have these things from the Library of Eccentricity, which basically are things that you can learn from like tablets and going to an area in the game called the Esoteric Library, which is also part of the quest to be able to use teleportation in this game using the system that's already in place before you learn sorcery. Then you've got weapons, and each time you level up, you can buy some of these weapons to learn, or you can do quests that unlock certain ones. Again, certain items are added by mods, certain ones are in the game normally, but there's a large quantity of weapons, and the one thing that I find amusing about this is shields are classified as a weapon in this game, which I'm cool with. I like the idea that a shield is a weapon because you're bashing people with it. It's also technically a piece of armor because you can still use it as a piece of armor to intercept random missiles and things like that. Now, my only problem with it is, in this game you have these... Where would that be? I think it's under here, maybe? No. It's definitely not there. It's gotta be under survival. Okay, under here you have these Master Tinkerer things, right? And once you go through and you start mastering the tinkering thing, one of the other things you get are the Master Armorsmith things. These, if you take a normal armor, you can actually add plates to it to make it stronger or more flexible or just generally change it. And in the weapons category, you also have one down here that adds to weapons, you know, durability and strength and impact, you know, so it does more damage whenever you're hitting somebody. Now, the problem that I've got with this game is that shields, although they classify them as weapons, are not able to have any of this added to it, nor are they able to add any of the armor plating to them. So they are pretty much static at whatever you get, unless you get a legendary variety, which is what I have currently in my inventory, which is this one right here, which the legendary variety, basically what happens is as the shield wears out, you can't repair it. Legendaries can't be repaired currently in this version of the game. There are mods that will allow you to make legendary repairs, and there's one installed currently on this server. The problem with doing that is, in order to keep it fair, the mod author has chosen to make it so that you need a higher tier armor smith or weaponsmith to manufacture, not manufacture, but do the repair in their bench. So you have to capture somebody that's like, there's different levels of craftsmen in this game. Like, you'll have a level 1 carpenter, a level 2, a level 3, and a level 4. And then you'll also have a named version of those people that you can find. And the named version is basically a level 4 without... Well, technically, I guess it would be really like a level 5. But the problem with doing that is, it is hard to get those upper tier people. They don't always spawn in the same location. They don't always spawn whenever you need them to. I have weapons that I want to really, really badly repair that I'm waiting for us to come across the craftsman. Like this person right here running this furnace. See, this is a named smelter. So whenever she does her deal, which is smelting these different things and apparently baking bread, she gets a bonus to doing it, which is kind of cool because, like, you know, but this place is basically my our battle platform for the purge. It's one that we tried to set up specifically to deal with the purge coming in versus dealing with it at our main camp. This is my horse. His name is Ghost. You have horses. You have other mounts available as well. I want to say a rhino, a horse. This server currently has an undead mount system in it that I installed, which gives you like 5 different undead mounts that you can use. Oddly enough, elephants are not an item that you can use as a mount, and neither are the rock noses down there, which would be kind of cool. And the scorpion down there, you can't use that either. The world itself is pretty awesome. On this server, I have one of the features turned off, which is the sandstorm, which is kind of pivotal to the actual story of the game, meaning that the whole reason the world is in the state that it's in, that you're living in this, is because of the sandstorm. And the sandstorm exists because of someone else's stupidity and lack of foresight. So, yeah. It's kind of pivotable. The poignant and pivoting in the... Poignant and pivoting? Good lord, my P's are getting preposterously pronounced. Alright, so this is again an area that I built. I built it into the side of the cliff, as you can see. I wanted to give the temple to set a really cool location, because whenever you get your temples up to max level, like this one here, when it reaches max level, what'll happen is there'll be a gigantic blast of light that will fire out of the top of it, and the temple will actually show up on this map as an active location that people can see. We have one that's done back at the main base. Actually, technically, I think there's 2 of them that are there. But the idea is that each one of these things should be a little different in my mind. So this one is the temple to set. So the priest up here, I went ahead and gave him a greater bear with a totemic modification, and he's got a bunch of guards that are, you know, all decked out in gear all the way down through here. That elevator I'll send down. This guard here technically probably wouldn't be here. He might be actively killing these people, to be honest. Off in the distance, you can see little lights flashing. Or at least I can on my screen. I don't know if you can on yours. But there's like little towns of people and little camps of people that are all over the desert. And depending on how close you get to them, you'll see them. This is one of the golems that's in the game. This is a crystalline golem. I added a mod in to allow me to craft the crystalline golem, because they don't actually have it as a craftable item currently, nor are you able to repair golems whenever they're damaged. So when your golem, let me show you here, receives damage, like this one is already damaged here, there's no way to heal it in game. It's just eventually going to crack and fall apart. But because a player is actively maintaining this, I wanted them to have the ability to be repaired, because you can also, according to this, level a golem up, because you see the different levels that he can reach, and it'll unlock perks to make them stronger. Now your normal thralls are that way too. This guy right here, for instance. As he levels up, which that's his current hit points, and this is how many XP it requires him to go up a level, he'll level up and, you know, get better. Now the problem is the golems don't actually level. They don't get better. They pretty much are always going to stay this way, because look at this. Down here, these guys have no active hit points, or no active leveling infrastructure, which I'm kind of hoping that a mod author or Funko eventually comes in and fixes this to where, you know, you can actually level up a golem and have him follow you around the whole time during the game. I have archers stationed out all over the place around here. I've lit the stairway highly. I've tried to make it basically so that we have our own little highway across the tops of these stones to get around. One of the mods that's in my listing is Dark Desires, I think. It's mainly used to make your thralls do things, and by do things I mean like this right here. This is an emote. The Desires mod adds a bunch of other emotes, which, you know, I can show you. Well, no, I really can't show you. I think it's Devious Desires is what it's called. But anyway, what happens is, like, you go through and you select your desired emote. Whenever you activate it, it opens up a window, and the window has all of the different emotes available, and you can literally select it for the thrall that you're looking at. And one of the things you want to do if you're actually going to do that is change the names. Like, this is the base name of this guy, the Dafari Archer Type 1. So you want to change the names of any of them that you're going to use that on, just to make it easier to find them, because, like, you're literally having to go through and target these people. And this is one that I changed. This is a Stygian Archer, by the way. And I went ahead and changed his name to this just so that I could find him in my emote list whenever I wanted to change emotes or modify his abilities or features. I've got another bear down here, and that's a trebuchet. And trebuchets are kind of cool because when you build them, you need the platform, like I said, from the artisan's bench. And then you build the other piece. And then you build the... After you build the bottom piece here, then you build the arm. And the arm itself, once it's attached, will allow you to start building siege boulders, iron siege boulders, or demonic fire barrage pots. In order to build these, you need to have those in your inventory, and they're very expensive to use. So, needless to say, the other two is what I'm using, because these things are readily available at this location, where this would cost me more resources to build than honestly it'd probably be worth to do. But, and by readily available, all those gray rocks down there, that's all iron. Okay? That's all iron ore. The, see right there? The brown rocks are standard sandstone, which is what I've used to build most of the structures with. Here's another one of my guys that I placed. And then over here you've got the elevator that we use to get down the back of the mountain so that we can use that land bridge right there to go over into the unnamed city, which on the map is right here, but is also a uniquely named location, and filled with undead and a variety of other things. And that's where I died last. These little markers will show up right now. Currently, this server has death loot turned off, meaning whenever you die, you don't have to go retrieve your loot. You can automatically find it. In your character, you'll respawn back wherever you last set your spawn point, which is either a bed or a bedroll. And you'll be able to just go back in and start playing again without too much of a problem. In a standard game, whenever you die, everything you die, basically your corpse lays there and all of your shit is on your corpse, and you've got to go find it. I turned it off in this server just like I turned off the sandstorm, because I wanted to be able to play the game and just enjoy playing it without dealing with that mechanic. I didn't turn off not being able to eat, or I didn't turn off not feeding your animals, and I didn't turn off any of that stuff. But whenever you've gone through the sandstorm like once or twice and you get the ability to actively build, there's a mask that'll let you stand there and take no damage from it. It's kind of pointless to just leave it on, because all it does is kind of eat resources. And I honestly do not find it that fun. But as you can see, the building is kind of, you know, changing as it gets rebuilt. I'm going to go ahead and grab Ghosts, and then I'm going to go down to the other location so I can show you what's going on down there. Again, all of the buildings that we have started off as sandstone buildings like this one here. And then we've slowly began converting them over with other materials as we go. The cool thing about Ghost is he's both a follower and a mount. So if I run up to him and I click on him once, it says can't reach the mount. But if I do this and I set follow, now he's my follower, he'll just follow along. I can also take, besides a mount, you can take an active combat thrall with you. So I could go through and I could find one of the guards if I wanted to take them back down to the other base and just take them with me. The thralls that are specific to items, like carpenters, for instance, or the craftsmen, I guess I should say, they will ride in your inventory. They do not, like, appear in the world without the item that they are assigned to. Let's see, hop on here. Now then, one of the people that I play with is a gentleman named Time Viewer. And Time Viewer, as he's gotten older, has gotten slightly blind. So, a lot of the mods, like the mod that I put in for the UI, where you can change its position, you can increase that, and even the Minimap and things like that, were put in at requests of different people on the server, to make it easier for them to be able to see. Mine, as you can see, is set to real time, but you can actually go through and set the little time thing on the bottom of your minimap to game time, so like you'll know the exact time in game if you're trying to do something in the morning or in the afternoon. You'll be able to actively see that and be able to actively manipulate it. So, horses in this game, riding them at least, is kind of like reality in a way. They're kind of headstrong. They don't turn on a dime. They turn on a radius relative to their size. They're fast. They have extra carrying slots. You can put in things on them to carry for you. Like, for instance, say if I wanted to carry a bunch of iron back to base, I could load it up to my horse and just ride him straight across the desert down into base without too much of an issue. You can fight from their back if you have the right weapons equipped. For instance, my sword, my bow, and let's see, did I bring a lance? I didn't, but I brought a spear. And my spear. Now, when you're riding along, you can actively attack from the back as long as you have a weapon with a reach category that'll be applied. Now, doing that with a bow is pretty pointless because bows require, here's a little deer, you to have a lot more stability when you fire because of the nature of the way they've built bows in this game. Now, I know I killed the deer, I'm such a bad person, it's terrible, but the reason why I'm doing that is because my horse, I'm trying to level him up. He gains experience from the things that I do when I'm on his back, or when he's following me and walking around. And you'll see he's already level 10. He's got one of his perks unlocked, which is Jack of all trades, which gives him fairly decent boost to general stats. And he gets a bit of armor from his saddle. Now, the other reason for, carrying a weapon on you whenever you're doing this is because there are creatures that will randomly attack you. Like, for instance, if I get too close to these gators over here, they're going to come after me. Or if I get too close to the hyenas up on this cliff, they'll come after me. But, well, that's new. I guess somebody decided to make Gator Gulch their farming land. Odds are it's probably time. Although I could see Jenny or Mike doing it as well. So, either way, it doesn't really make that big a difference. As long as I know it's there and can use it when I want to, it doesn't make a difference at all. But as you can see, these are turtles, by the way. They walk around like gorillas. And we have gorillas in the game, and they look and move basically the same way. They fight almost exactly the same way. The red ones are aggressive and will attack you for no reason, even for just showing up. The other ones, I can basically walk up to, and as long as I don't mess with the babies or their eggs, they don't give a crap. But the red ones, they're just aggressive assholes. So I wound up building, this is the village, the main village for the clan, so to speak. And this island is called Bunny Island. Well, at least it's called Bunny Island by us. Told you, assholes. So. And because I need this horse to reach level 20, so I get credit for one of my journeys, because on the I'll show you when I get inside the gate. There we go. So the doors here will auto seal, auto lock. You can ride horses, you can ride rhinos. You can't ride elephants, although elephants have the largest capacity for carrying. You have gorillas, as you can see. And you have saber-toothed cats, as you can see. And a large variety of other creatures available in-game that can be tamed and used as pets, or tamed and used as mounts and labor. That's what I mean by a pillar of light, whenever I was talking about that earlier, by the way. That is the temple to Ymir, which is the only one that's been completed. The other there's two temples, which I'll show you in just a second. Over here, and one of the things that we have done is captured baby alligators and tamed them. I don't know why, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. And we have jaguars. Okay, let's just set him up to not be following for a minute. Okay. So, this is one of the temples. It has a priest kneeling there in front of it and two worshippers that are dancing girls, basically, for the temple. We went ahead and put, because it's cat themed, we went ahead and put the panthers in here by it. This place over here is from a mod, and what it does is it is a thing to use instead of the Wheel of Pain, and whenever you assign people to be broken to it, they basically break down firewood and make more wood for your group. We have two main wall entrances to this camp from this side. Neither one of them have been overly modified since they were put in. This one recently had the main stable added to it, which is right here. We have 3 different totemic hyenas currently active. 1 greater, 2 smaller. We had a 3rd one, but he died whenever I took him out to do some training. This is Jebel Zog, I think. His cult slash godly shrine. There's another one over on top of that rock, which I'll take you to in a minute. But basically what happened is I built this wall here, and then we started getting attacked at all of our bases. And there's only 3 bases currently. So once we realized that we could be attacked at all of them, that it didn't really matter which one we were at any given time for the purge, then it became priority to go through and start revamping and structurally enhancing these bases to make them harder to destroy. So one of the things that I did was I placed all of these, which they will cause bleeding whenever they're attacked. They're basically palisades, and I put them out in front of the walls because what they do is they come up and they AoE attack the walls. So I put them around the more vulnerable spots, made it so that whenever they attack those, they have to deal with the palisades. I put archers on the walls, boiling pots of oil periodically, usually one above the central door where they can come in at. And I put guards down at the bottom to actively fight. Because it's siege warfare. It's, you know, it's fun. And then up here, I built a walkway going around this mountain, which is attached over to the other entrance that has more guards, more archers, more palisades. Well, no palisades because they really can't get up there. More killing spots, pots of oil, different things like that. Just, you know, stuff to make it interesting, because these are as much decorative as they are functional. They also provide you with areas to place guards. Now, the problem with this is all newer construction, so I haven't gone back through and reinforced it or added in greebles and structural supports to make it look more like a realistic fortification structure. The area that we're in, which is kind of funny, there are 3 people that always spawn down here. There's usually a fighter or an archer and some type of craftsperson that will spawn. And then there'll be that alligator right there that spawns in and attacks them. And if you're lucky, you'll get people that'll be able to take it out and survive it. And those are the ones that we tend to try and get and use for thralls inside the building here and everywhere else. If you're not lucky, you wind up with ones that die to it immediately, and they just, you know, suck. Now, my character here is geared towards being able to conquer and bring back thralls without an issue, so this guy really didn't have a chance. But he thought he did. So I'll drag him back here and I'll show you what happens whenever you put him on this bench to be broken. Which is, you come over here, you assign them to it, you hit the play button to make sure it's active, and he'll go into cutting wood for you. It'll take a few minutes for the animation to catch up and actively work the way it's supposed to.
Keep it flowing.
And the guy there that's the taskmaster will berate him for not doing a good job. One of the things that I built here was a herbalist shop, and I gave him one of the bears because I had 3 different bears as a pet slash guard, because, you know, I don't actually want him to get killed if the door gets breached, so I put him here. And then you've got the 2 cats here, and then over here is the entrance to the Temple to Metra, which I'll show you in just a minute when I go up top. This right here is Lily's, which is a bar, and I put another archer right out here on the fruit stand, and I assigned the reading a book animation to make it look like they're, you know, actively reading. Then you've got a guard that's standing in there. This is the alchemist shop. You got the city wall right here, which has a couple guards up here, another one down there, another entrance. The alchemist shop has another archer on top of it. The idea is to make it as secure as possible, because what happens is on occasion the alligator that spawns and goes out there to attack will actually spawn inside here. So I went to all the trouble of making sure we had extra fighters, and I even went so far because I wanted to try and do something different, as building a bar and assigning different fighters in here And that dancer gets stuck in that wall all the damn time. I don't know if it's just because of the dance or the position or what, but she gets stuck in the wall like crazy. And whenever I reposition her, it lasts for a little bit, and then eventually she'll work her way back into the wall. But I went to the point of putting in a cooking station and somebody to pretend to be the barkeep, and then some guys back here doing, you know, waiting for a boat to come in and building all this stuff, because in all honesty I had more fun building and that's the Dark Lord of the dance over there. He's one of the dancers that we got, so I just put him over there just to make it fun and just put up guards all over the place. Like, the problem is I haven't figured out exactly how to get them positioned to sit in chairs and things like that, or else I'd have it to where they were sitting in chairs and make it look like they were just, you know, in the bar having a good time. So I'm still learning how to use that in the build menu, because there are mods for positioning, as I said before, that will let you do different things. Let's go out here and check on these two. See, this gator spawns either in that wall there, out in the water here, or back there. And what we've done is I went ahead and put out all these torches, because at night it's hard to see over here. And this character, as I said before, is geared towards doing exactly this at the moment. So she doesn't have a problem with that. Oh, and we also put up these little signs, like "You'll Die" is the employee of the month, all over the place in different locations, just for shits and giggles, because there's like 4 of us playing and we need something to keep us laughing on occasion, I guess is a good way to put it. But yeah, I mean, I've had a blast playing this game. I will have a blast playing it even whenever my friends aren't playing it with me. But right now, it's just fun to have people playing with me, because, like, well, we can build so much better, so much faster, and so much bigger than any one of us could alone. And we can do so much more together than we ever could by ourselves, which is kind of the whole point of these games to a certain degree. I mean, this is sort of an MMO, sort of not. I mean, it's one of the few games that has a single player and a co-op mode. This right here is our armorer's place, and it's built up to look like an armorer shop. You got a couple different tanners, a couple different armor benches. You got an extra tanner that's sitting out there. Whenever we first started, that was our only tannery bench in the place for breaking down leather and stuff like that. And as we've expanded, we built more and captured more people that, you know, fill those roles. We've built and altered things to make it more fun. I've tried to make it so that people have room to build their own stuff. Like my friend Time, pretty much that's his island. I built all the animal pens over there. He built the big safe, like, thing in the middle, and the other thing there, I built him a house, because he got to the point where he just had stuff scattered all over that island and wasn't doing anything with it. And I wanted to try and clean it up for him, so I built that for him. And then in here, you got the cooks. This place is one big warehouse, basically. You have all of the manufacturing that's available in the game to us at the moment in here in one form or another. I mean, everything from like blacksmiths to dyes, carpenters to smelters to tinkerers, you name it. There's a mod in that lets you change the clothing and outfits that your thralls wear, as you can see. And and my friends have embraced it and started changing out outfits and doing things like that. This is the map room that you unlock as part of the quest line. It's part of the teleportation thing, and what it has, when you basically have each one of these things is attuned to a different it's not, I wouldn't say artifact, but pillar in the world that you're attuned to, and each thing allows you to teleport to those pillars. This is the main building here, and my character's house was built right next door to it. Once we got access to the map room, I had to remodel my house and incorporate it into the building so that we'd have enough space to actively be able to build it all. So my house got revamped and a lot of things got redone. Some of it I like, some of it I don't. Most of it I think is pretty cool. I've got my own greater saber-toothed cat here as a guardian. And a bunch of other stuff, like everybody has their own gear and things like that that they keep around. One of the cooler mods gives you these little pet platforms, and as long as that rug exists, it generates an animal that you can place down that'll always be a small scale pet that you can play with. I want to say it's called Emberlight is the name of the mod. And as you can tell, I've been, collecting pots and things like that from different missions and things like that, and they're all scattered all over the place, trying to make it look like, somebody actively lives here. My character's still hurt, by the way. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. But you have weapons that are throwables, like these gas orbs, grease orbs, and then you have water orbs that are used to make the other stuff. You have dyes, so you can dye outfits. You have the Thaumaturgist? Anyway, it's in the spell casting. Basically, what this does is you can do 3 things here, really. You can make yourself a new staff if you lose yours. I usually leave mine in here because I don't really do the arcane stuff. I don't like the spell casting. It's hard for me to remember how to do it. Then you have the book that you use for your spell casting book. You have sorcerer spell pages that you use to write your spells on. You have whatever material components they ask you for, so that you can make said spells accessible to your character. And whenever you cast spells, you need these little backpack-looking satchels, which I don't know if I've got any or not. I don't currently. They're little bags and satchels that your character will have to carry on them and occupy space, and whenever you cast a spell, it uses one of those satchels to activate the spell. We have planters that are here that are used to grow rarer plants, and then we have my storage, which is my storage. I shove stuff in this thing all the time just because I'm kinda not 100% sure what I need and what I don't need when it comes to casting, and I'm not sure what they're going to ask for, so I have stuff scattered all over the damn place as far as that goes, just to try and keep up with it. Because like when you unlock spells, let me show you this. In the knowledge category, you have to unlock spells by, as I said, you'll get a spell book. Then you'll get a page request, and you'll get an item that you can... I didn't know that I had that. Okay. You'll get items that you can learn, and you can make. Wow. Like these, see? They'll open up, and things that you can summon, which are all of these. And the only problem with like these items, like the armor, the bow, any of this stuff is that they automatically give you a certain level of corruption, and corruption is what the spell system works on. So you need corruption to be able to cast spells. But think of it like taint on your soul. Whenever you have it, your character loses health and loses stamina. So the more corruption you have, the bigger, stronger, better spells you can cast. But that also means whenever you get hit by a needle, you're gonna die. So, yeah. It's kind of a catch-22 thing. It works, just not always the way you want it to. As I said, this is my character's house, so I have built a bedroom for her here. And I'm using, I have all of the current packs available, DLC packs. So like the tatami mats below me, those are part of a pack. This is part of another pack. The walls here are part of the tatami pack. The just different material. It's actually, if you compare this to 76, it's like basically they give you a complete building set, or mostly a complete building set, every time you buy one of their packs in this game. You're not just buying one building. It's a prefab that you can plop down, and maybe like a maybe some, you know, aesthetic article to throw down. Typically you're getting a whole building tile set, one or two aesthetic pieces, and on occasion some type of armor or clothing to go with it. You have magical base freezers, you have all of this different stuff. It's not a bad little house. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It's far from perfect. And I built a stall for my horse, for one of my horses in here, so I could keep them handy. The other thing that I built is, in here is the only fully functional golem manufacturing thing in the village at the moment, unless Jen put in one, which I don't know if she has or not yet, and my own summoning circle. Then I went ahead and put in my guards, my workers. As I said, we wind up collecting more workers and things than we actually have room for at any given point, so we wind up expanding and adding things to the village periodically. Jen's house started off like everything else did, out of this general sandstone. As she bought packs and got into building and fooling around with it, she basically turned hers into a marble masterpiece of structure and design, which is awesome. I mean, this place looks epic. That's her character there, by the way. This is her alchemy area. This used to be a stable at one point. She has her double doors going out to her deck, which goes out this way, and you've got your own personal little deck area with a water pool. She's got her own sacrificial altar out here with her own summoning circle. Got a smelter, a carpenter, a drying bench, some nice chairs, some fountains. This is what I mean by decorative materials. All of the thralls that you could ever want. And this is a woman setting this up, by the way, not a guy, which I find hilarious because, like, I mean, this looks like something a guy would put together. Just gonna say. But no, Jen did that to herself. We added a mod that adds in boats, which is why we've got this little raft over here, and the other boat over to the other side. She's used the mod that allows you to change the clothing of your thralls, to place all of her thralls in different unique outfits. Even the ones that, like carpenters and things like that normally you can't. The only ones you can actively change in-game normally are the ones that are guards, fighters, that kind of stuff. She has the only fully complete temple. This is one of the few pieces left of the original build that she has in this place. But she has, like, went through and added in her own doors and everything to make this place her own and make it so much cooler. This is, as I said, a fully complete temple, so it has the big shaft of light going up, and it appears on the map. Yeah, I mean, it's just... I would show you the entirety of her house, but in all honesty, it's not mine to show, if that makes any sense. It's beautiful, and I love the fact that she went through and she put all these people in clothing to make it look like, you know, they work here. They're not just employees, or they're not just people stuck working here. She's done a hell of a job with this place. She really has. I love this map, for instance. It's one of those items that I wanted to use myself, but it's just so big and cumbersome to place unless you plan around it. And then she's built, like, you know, beds for her and her boyfriend to actively be in here. It's just, I mean, it's cool as shit. It really is. I highly recommend the game for just the building aspect alone. I recommend buying all the DLCs that you can afford whenever you get it. The Isle of Septa is one that I highly recommend, and the Age of Sorcery, because like they add so much to the game. And then this over here is my temple that I used for my god, which is Metra, which is in the process of being finished. And I went ahead and built a little fortification down here so that the elevator is more secure. As you can see, there's still plenty of room for guards to be placed. And different things like that. And I've tried to vary the building materials. And one of my favorite things to see is whenever you're going up here is the map room. The fact that you can see the map from up here. At nighttime, it's one hell of an awesome view. But like, this is my temple that I built for my character's god. And whenever you start the game, you pick a religion. All the gods do a little something for you. Except Crom, who does nothing. Which is one of the reasons why I added the religion mod to the game, so that it would allow us to get something out of the religions that we were, you know, actively having to gather materials for, to build temples and things like that, besides the basics. But yeah, it is a hell of a game. It's a survival game. You can play it in... The cool part about it is you can play it by yourself, you can play it with friends, you can play it on active servers that are PvP, you can play it on PvE, you can play it just you and a single other person in co-op mode. The PC version has mods available that are actively supported by their modding community. Meaning, by that I mean, like, a lot of these mods, like this game came out and it had mods, and some of the people that were building those mods have long since stopped playing the game. So new players came in and new modders came in, and some of the mods got remade and some of them didn't. Some of them got brought up to the new standard, which is whatever version of the game that it's currently on at the time. And when it got brought up, some of them get added features, some of them like get, there's 2 or 3 different build sets that are available. If you're really good at modding this game and you're really good at operating your own servers, you could in theory build custom dungeons with the mod tile set that they have available in some of these things, and actively build, like, you know, your own custom dungeons and play a dungeon master slash explorative role in this game set up without an issue at all. As I said, it's a variety of materials that are available just from the base game materials that you can buy. The stuff that you can buy makes the game awesome on its own. You throw in the mods, and you turn it into something else entirely. This is Time's Temple Tyog. Wow, he went nuts with this place. This is the Black Ice build set, by the way. I suggested building up here because I thought it would be cool because of the whole fact that there are vultures up here and Yogg is effectively a cannibal god. So it was kind of cool that, you know, you had a temple up here on top of this mountain. And then the other benefit was, besides having the temple up here, you come over this way and there's a little village that's like dedicated to Yogg right there. So it's kind of like, you know, reinforcing the idea that people have been doing this for a while. There are different biomes in this game. This area through here is the desert. You have a jungle biome which covers this side over here. Then as you go up, this is more of a temperate wood zone all the way through here, and then up in here is tundra, just raw cold tundra. And then you've got the area up here which is the volcano. So a lot of stuff. I actively enjoy this game far more than I thought I would. The exploration aspect has been something that is just great. They have large swaths of the map that they can add to if they want to, as you can see. Whenever they build their dungeons, they tend to build them under the edges of the map so that you're not actively, so that your character couldn't actively get in them without going through whatever entrance system they've put in place. So it's cool. Highly recommend it. If you're looking for a game to play besides 76 that has building in it, and you're not a fan of Valheim because of the graphics, which I'll be honest with you, the water effects in Valheim are beautiful. The water effects here are great because it's Unreal Engine 4. The developers are still working on this game actively. They have, as I said, another conference coming up on the 24th of this month, August 24th, 2023, to discuss the next section of the Age of War, which I'm guessing they'll probably add a new dungeon, probably purge mechanic, something else. I mean, I can't imagine them stopping. It's too good a setup, to be honest. But, yeah. Highly recommend it. I suggest giving it your best shot, checking it out if you can. If you're on PC and you're a member of my Discord and we're still playing when you see this, unless all the slots are filled, send me a message if you want to play with us. As long as you're somebody that I know that's actively going to play and have a good time participating, I'm more than willing to let you join up. There's a few people I'd love to get in here just to have to play with. But this is one of the games that I've been trying to make videos on. I wanted to make a video that was basically, you know, how you start and how you do that. And I could still do that if you really want me to. But there's a lot of videos about that already in existence, and there's very few videos that are like the ones that I'm showing you, where people just walk around and show you the stuff that's, you know, cool that they've done in the game. They might build something awesome and then have it set up to where you have to go, that the purge comes and attacks it. But they're not actively playing those builds usually. They're just playing it for the moment that they're in. this is one that we're actively playing, we're actively working together, and we're all having a good time with. So, yeah. So if you're into this kind of game, if you know me already, send me a PM. If you don't know me already, well, look me up. If you are somebody that actively likes playing this stuff, let me know. It seems like all the games anymore are geared towards this kind of play. Co-op, multiplayer, team building, working together, or, you know, there's always the old Halo type games and Modern Warfare type games, which are all geared towards, you know, their own ends. I personally am kind of burnt out on Modern Warfare and Halo. I like the idea of being able to build and do things, but I like the idea of being able to do it with graphics that don't make my eyes want to bleed, like in Minecraft, which is great for my kid, but not necessarily something I want to get involved with. So, have a good day, enjoy your games, hope this finds you in a good way, and I will talk to you guys later.